Alright, so before I start this episode of Legit or Shit, I have to give a warning. Now, going into this game, I already kind of had an idea what it was going to be like, and yeah, so I promise eventually you're going to get that episode of Legit or Shit, and the game's going to be shit. But, like I said, I always go into these games fresh, but I knew what I was kind of getting into on this one. Alright, so to give you a little bit of setup on this, I came across this game. I not actually knew that this was a thing before I found it on eBay. I was looking up the original Guardian Heroes for Sega Saturn, and not knowing that Advanced Guardian Heroes was there, I saw a listing for Advanced Guardian Heroes. Now, I might be completely under a rock for this, but yeah, I'd never heard of Advanced Guardian Heroes. So anyway, I came across a listing, and it was a sealed copy for Advanced Guardian Heroes, which interestingly enough, the seller has, or claims to have, 300 copies of it, still sealed. I've actually bought games from this particular seller before, and they are legitimate seals, and they just use a stock photo, which is interesting. So I can only assume that this is kind of like an outlet for old video games, or perhaps they buy up old stock. I don't know. Anyway, I think I only paid something like $25 for this sealed, which is pretty cool. And as I've stated before, there's some serious bias going into this. So whenever I looked up the game and I found it and I bought it for stupid cheap, I found out that it was made by Treasure. Now, if you know anything about Treasure, they do really good games. An example of some of the games that they've done would be Alien Soldier for Genesis, which we never got here in the States, but if you've never played it, definitely play it. It was, if I believe correctly, a Japanese-only release, which was released on the Sega Genesis, or as known in Japan as the Sega Mega Drive. And of course, Treasure is very well known for doing Gunstar Heroes, which I'm sure everybody listening to this has already played. If you haven't played it, I kind of question what you're really doing with your life. Stop right now what you're doing, and go play it. Interestingly enough, it seems as though Sega wasn't interested in creating another Guardian Heroes, so Treasure took it upon themselves to obtain the rights to produce this, which is pretty cool because it looks like we wouldn't have got a sequel if it weren't for Treasure. One of the really cool aspects of this game, which I would really like to check out for myself, is you only need one of the games and you can connect 4 other players via the link cables on the Game Boy Advance. You don't see many games that do that, and for you to only have one game cartridge to do that, that's pretty damn cool. One of the glaring things that you'll notice going into the game is that the main character looks like one of the main characters from Gunstar Heroes. Or at least that's what it looks like to me. Maybe I'm seeing things, but you can definitely tell it's the same art style, in my opinion. As far as gameplay mechanics go, it plays like any of your normal beat-em-up side-scrollers. Now, having said that, it does play like your Treasure games, which they kind of have their own style of the beat-em-up side-scroller, and it feels really good. The story for it isn't anything really to write home about. It's kind of unentertaining, but you know, at least there's a storyline, right? I've never played these type of games for the storyline, so I am not missing anything on that. If your opinion differs on that, maybe you want to shy away from this, but for me, it didn't cause any distractions. So, as always, I'm gonna have to wrap up my commentary and give you an arbitrary score of if it's legit or shit. And of course, it is legit. It's a Treasure game. As far as I can tell, haven't come across a Treasure game that I haven't liked, and that includes the McDonald's one that's on the Genesis, which if you haven't checked that out, check that out too. But yeah, it's a solid beat 'em up game. What more do you want? Yeah, if you're wanting story, look elsewhere, but this is a good title. It's like all of Treasure's other games, and I don't see why you wouldn't enjoy it. Plus, it's on the GBA. Give the GBA some love. It deserves it. And as per usual, if you follow my videos, I'm gonna just let this video wrap up with some more gameplay. And if you wouldn't mind to like and subscribe, leave a comment, tell me to F off, whatever you want to do, by all means, go ahead. It really helps the channel out. And once again, thanks for watching another episode of Legit or Shit, and I will see you next time.
Yeah.